Okay, so for today's episode of Rare, we welcome Hannah Kurth. So Hannah is a market access leader with over 2 decades of experience in global and European pharma and biotech, and has worked on several rare disease products. So Hannah is an ambitious, strategic, and committed partner who drives impact with an open and collaborative mindset. She has previously worked at companies such as Ipsen, Merck Serono, Galapagos, and more recently Horizon before its acquisition by Amgen. So Hannah is also the founder of the Pulse Network and has joined today to talk us through it. So welcome, Hannah.
Thank
Before
you.
we get on to that, can you talk us through your journey so far?
Sure. Thank you, Laura. So to start, I'm an economist by training. I got started in the healthcare industry in a boutique consultancy that was focused on health economics, outcomes research, and pricing and reimbursement based out of Boston. I moved over to industry side in 2005, joining Ipsen, a mid-sized pharmaceutical company, starting as a global market analytics lead in endocrinology, and later moving into a global pricing and market access director role in neurology. And there I was actually one of the first members of the Ipsen market access department as it was being established. I spent a little over a decade at Ipsen, and that included a move to Paris in 2008 while I was in my market analytics role, and the completion of a master's in health economics, policy, and management at the London School of Economics in 2014. So I then joined Merck Serono in 2017 as market access and pricing lead for a key launch in multiple sclerosis in the EMEA region. And following that launch, I migrated over to the world of biotech, joining the biotech Galapagos as a global value and access senior director for that company's first launch in inflammation. And thereafter, I joined Horizon as global value and access lead, where I worked in rare autoimmune and severe inflammatory conditions. And there I was preparing international launches and also ensuring global access and pricing strategy for the entire pipeline. And lastly, I've also worked in business development in most of my roles, both in producing forecasts and in providing pricing and market access inputs into forecasts. And most recently, I founded my consultancy, Pulse Edge, in which I partner with biopharma organizations as they navigate the road to revenues.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. So what is the Pulse Network and what motivated you to start it?
Yeah, so Pulse Network gathers leaders from pharma, biotech, and health tech for face-to-face networking events. And we also publish key insights and developments in life sciences on our LinkedIn page. I like to say that Pulse is where curious minds intersect. So we're a very open, dynamic group, highly motivated by innovation in healthcare. And those who attend events, they really understand the value of live networking in today's world, both in terms of career evolution and personal development, but also business opportunities. And just for a little history, so I actually created Pulse back in 2020. I had been in multiple remote roles at that time, so based out of Paris. And having bridged from pharma to biotech, I really wanted to find a way to connect with others in the Paris region that were coming from both pharma and biotech, exchange on trends in the market, so essentially check the pulse of the market, and also further expand my own network. And actually going even further back while I was at Ipsen, we actually had a group of leaders from different departments across the organization that met every month. So I sort of wanted to create a sort of cross-company replica of that group, but in Paris. So Pulse is now managed under my consultancy, Pulse Edge. Today we have nearly 700 followers on our LinkedIn page. About half of those are in France, 20% in UK, and 15% North America, and the rest are from rest of world. And our members include both industry side leaders in life sciences and those working in services. So our face-to-face events, they include leaders primarily in the Paris region, though we're starting to have attendees from other countries and cities such as Boston, London, and Switzerland. And we are an internationally focused group, though we do put some special focus on French innovation. And what's really critical to us is that our invited speakers and sponsors are really at the forefront of evolution in life sciences.
Yeah, and so how does Pulse Network support members who work in the rare disease space in particular?
Yeah, so as you know well, the rare disease market is expanding substantially, and this growth is expected to continue going forward as there's increasing awareness around rare disease, the advancements in genetic and molecular research, and the development of precision medicine. So Pulse focuses quite a bit on novel therapies such as gene therapies and biologics. And I've made a significant effort in the past year to shift the focus of Pulse increasingly towards biotech, as it's really the fastest growing segment within life sciences, as well as health tech or tech bio, as it's sometimes called, which has enormous potential, especially in rare disease. So, of our Pulse members that attend face-to-face events who come from over 70 companies, about one-third have worked in rare disease or are currently working in rare disease. And so how do we support them? I would say this is twofold. So one is through our digital activities and one is through our live events, of course. So in terms of digital, we publish a weekly roundup of life science news, which has highlights of key approvals, late-stage developments, deals such as acquisitions or key startup funding, and other developments, many of which are in rare disease and other sort of hot areas for life science companies, such as oncology and immunology. And we also focus on policy and trends worldwide. And we highlight healthcare innovation that is meeting areas of high unmet need, which of course includes rare disease. And also in terms of digital, we actually have a team of about 5 volunteers, and they sometimes attend European or global events that are focused on advancements in the field. And then we post highlights from those events to our members. So a very recent example of this is the Economist Impacts Cell and Gene Therapy Summit that was held in Brussels in April of this year. We also highlight the achievements of our members on LinkedIn, so especially those working in rare disease. So a recent example of this was a member who was appointed as chief business officer for a French biotech, and that company's lead candidate is in late stage development for a rare immune system disorder. And then as for our live events, in the past, we simply, it was really just appetizers and networking. We've now added topics and speakers, again, always with an eye on innovation, highlighting activities and companies that are leading the way in addressing the needs for the future, including rare disease.
Yeah, great. How do you attract professionals who are interested or already working in rare disease?
Sure. So I think we attract professionals in rare disease by the fact that rare disease is a growing segment, and we focus on healthcare innovation. So at our last event in June, one of our members, or rather our members, learned what one pioneering French company, White Lab Genomics, what they're doing in terms of AI and genomics, which of course can help to identify genetic mutations and variations that cause rare disease. AI has really immense potential in achieving earlier and more accurate diagnosis, aiding personalized medicine, and accelerating the drug discovery process. So it was interesting because for this event, we had attendees coming from all different backgrounds and functions, and really functions across the value chain who were interested in the topic and the potential value of such technology for patients. I'd also highlight that a couple of our Pulse volunteers work in the rare disease space, one specifically in cell and gene therapy. So this, I think, brings some prioritization of rare disease in our communication and events. And I personally also keep a very close eye on member feedback and what is really resonating with our members, along with where the market is headed, to keep our topics relevant and stimulating. So we attract professionals through those offerings, but also by the fact that we have a real diversity of backgrounds and sectors represented at our events, which actually is really appreciated by our members. We also maintain a very intimate group. It's usually around 25 or 30 people max. And that allows folks to meet everyone at the event, which I think is a huge benefit. It's also a very open environment, so everyone is welcome to discuss freely, ask questions, which I think is particularly interesting for leaders that are interested in transitioning to the rare disease space, as they can have access to biopharma folks who can either advise them or provide contacts.
Yeah, and so what are the future aspirations for Pulse moving forward?
Yeah, so in the last year or so, I started putting in more resources into Pulse Network to really grow and professionalize it. And I mentioned our volunteers. So I work with a really brilliant team of leaders who bring energy and ideas to evolve Pulse going forward. And it's been really exciting to see the fruits of our collective labors so far. In the future, I'm hoping to explore different formats for our meetings, or events rather, to continue to stimulate intellectual exchange and also business opportunities during our meetings. So we're always looking for speakers who are interested in sharing their perspectives on current topics, including developments in rare disease. And we'd love to explore also some more provocative topics and even get a debate going between members who have the curiosity to explore different perspectives. And we may also explore Pulse Network events in other cities and even countries. So more to come on that in 2025. So the importance for me, though, overall is really keeping our values, which are bold innovation, servant leadership, authenticity, and value creation, and really creating an environment where our curious minds can meet and exchange. And so I'm sure that we're going to be focusing a lot on rare disease in 2025. And I look forward to sharing with you, Laura, as those plans come into place.
Yeah, great. Well, I've been following Pulse Network for quite some time, and I'll provide the details afterwards in the article. So, and would encourage people to go and follow as well and get involved. But thank you a lot for your time today and for telling us all about Pulse.
Thank you so much, Laura.